Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a little help with one of the new topics that you have this week, and you can see an example here on the screen. It says find an explicit formula for the arithmetic sequence, and then it gives a list of numbers: 10, -10, -30, -50. So a lot of this problem is just knowing what an arithmetic sequence is. An arithmetic sequence is what you get when you add or subtract the same number over and over and over again. So to get from 10 to -10, you subtract 20. To get from 10 to -30, you subtract 20. And from 30 to -50, you subtract 20, and so on. So adding a -20 each time will generate this sequence. And these sequences are pretty powerful in mathematics. So if you wanted to know the next term in the sequence, which is what one of your assignments will ask you to do, is, well, to go from -50 to the next term in the sequence, you would add another -20. So we would go from -50 to -70, and then to -90, and so on. But what this question asks us to do is find a formula that generates this sequence. So in this notation, lowercase n stands for what term in the sequence you're at, or how far in the sequence are you. So the first term in the sequence, which in function notation would be c of -1, well, the first term in our sequence is 10. And then the second term in our sequence needs to be -10. And the third term in our sequence needs to be -30, and so on. So you have to write a function that will generate this sequence for you. Now, if you've never seen this before, it would kind of be a little bit difficult to do off the top of your head. So here's the basic idea. Our sequence needs to start at 10. And then you want to add -20 for every term in the sequence beyond the first. And that's why you need an n-1. If you just had a lowercase n, you would add a -20 for every term in the sequence. But we want to start after the first term. So if you just examine the function notation here, what will happen, let's say for the third term in the sequence, we would have 10 plus -20 times 3 minus 1, which is 10 plus -20 times 2. That's 10 minus 40, which is -30. And if you look at what we wanted in the first place, the third term in our sequence is -30, which is what we wanted over here. So the main thing you'll have to do with this assignment is, number one, extend sequences a little bit further by adding the same number over and over and over again, or writing function notation like this one in green. And all you want to do is start with the first number in your sequence. You add, in this case, -20, but that's whatever number you're adding or subtracting over and over again. But the main trick is understanding why this is n-1. Anyway, hope this helped. Just email me if you have any questions.